Oh, you want me to? Oh, okay. So I need to have that macro. Oh, I'm so sorry. I understand now. I, Wolfie H., swear to uphold the law and values of the Glendale Police Department, to act with honor, professionalism, and respect, and to serve and protect the community with integrity on and off duty. Yes, sir. Okay. Okay, so first, what you should do is conduct role play macros. You got to introduce yourself. For example, if you're depending on the situation, but for example, if you're just going up to somebody, you would introduce yourself using the hello, my name is Wolfie H. I'm West Coast Police Officer, badge number GP307. And then, from there, you would take it from there. For example, let's say if it does result to taser and you'd have to use your taser. Um, we also have a couple other macros like the choose to defend our police officers. This is in case of emergencies if we're getting shot at. And I'm aware that in case of emergencies where you are getting shot at, you get a 5 second window to drop it before, like after you shoot. But usually you're supposed to 99% of the time drop it before you start any type of action. You got to have your macros done. Oh yeah, yeah, bro. I've been in a couple situations already. So many. Wait, I'm sorry. Please ask that again. Oh, give me one sec. PD5. Okay, so PD5 is using firearm or any type of equipment like taser without a warning. So you get a warning, right? Yes, sir. So okay, so the first one you said unlawful arrest. Unlawful arrest would consider of couple few things. Well, one, if you if they're in a green zone and you just cuff them without giving them their warnings, that's one way of unlawful arrest. Or another thing could be, for example, if you're outside and you go up to somebody, you don't introduce yourself, you don't ask for their ID, you just automatically decide it's okay to arrest them. That just makes no sense. You can't have nothing. You got to play it by the role play rules, or else it's just unlawful. Uh oh, the punishment is you would get a reprimand, I believe, one reprimand. Um, it's like one strike out of three, pretty much. But do you want like a type of like a code that we'd kind of? Oh, it's right away dismissal. So any unlawful arrest is right away dismissal instantly. You get 1, 2, and 12. Ah. Okay, you said why attacking a civilian without RP is prohibited, and what is the punishment, right? Okay, so give me 1 sec. Let me think about this one. I think you'd be breaking. Well, okay. First and foremost, I feel like you'd be breaking PD Rule 3, which is you can't be attacking people with hands or any type of anything, pretty much. Um, but other than getting PD 3, I think you'd also get at least one reprimand. I want to say, if not just completely kicked. Well, PD 3 is an automatic dismissal, huh? Ah, beautiful. So 1, 2. If you okay, you do a lawful arrest, you get 1, 2, and 12. But if you punch somebody, you get that PD 3. You automatically go. Okay, beautiful. I love that. Okay, subordination. I think it's like a leadership from a supervisor figure. Could for me right now could be vested. Could be an MG. But if you ignore orders from your MG, you're not only going to get a reprimand or automatic dismissal that could happen, but I think there's a PD rule. Give me 1 second. If you're ignoring your supervisor or a higher up, give me 1 sec. There's a PD rule I know for sure you breaking. Okay, so you're breaking PD 6 and you're getting one reprimand. Hmm. Okay, you said state laws. Give me 1 sec, because I'm thinking of both you're including role play laws that are just overall of the server plus your police law rules, right? Why is it important? Okay, so I think first and foremost, as a PD officer, you gotta, like we started with what we said, you gotta uphold the honor, your integrity. You gotta basically you're part of the law and you gotta play like you're part of the law. If you break the law that you're supposed to enforce, you're basically as might as well count yourself as a criminal. You know what I mean? So you're breaking the laws that are enforced. It's not just for players, it's for us too. You know what I mean? And I know for sure, like, there has been some cocky individuals before, and I don't know them personally, but I know, if there's been any cocky people like that have done something like, you know, breaking rules that are meant for everybody is PD 2. Like, for example, shooting AK in a green zone, like having a gun in the green zone. It's not just for, like, you're not supposed to have it out for no reason as a cop. That's an example of, like, okay, that's something that somebody could do try to get away with it as like, oh, look at me, I'm a cop, I could do it. But you're not. That's the whole point. Is like you're enforcing that law on somebody else, so you gotta follow the same rules. Just regular badged officers or overall? Oh, vehicles, just overall vehicles. Okay, so you can't use anything other than the PTV, police cruiser vehicles, like the ones we could pull out here at the station, for example. But I don't think we're allowed to use our personal vehicles, right? We can't use no personal. Yes, sir. Give me one sec. If you're using a personal vehicle, let me think about this. Give me a sec. Okay, so PD10 would be the exact one that you're speaking of if you're using your vehicle for police work. But there's also PD8, which is kind of the opposite, you know? Disrespect could be verbally too, but any form of um, like punching, verbal disrespect, not following orders from colleagues. Um, let's say you get into a car and you're about to do a 10-12, right? And you just start driving off. You don't let everybody know, okay, we're gonna go for a 10-12. You just drive off. That's disrespectful. You're making them kind of lose role play. You got to make sure everybody kind of just follows that role play. I feel like, and you guys will be okay. The punishment for what again? Oh, for disrespecting, right? If you're disrespecting somebody give me a sec. Uh, if you're doing it and you actually asked against civilians, so that's PD9. If you're doing it towards colleagues and or civilians, you're doing PD9. Okay, so I think most important part about that first interaction with a player in role play is not only are you following the rules as a PD officer, but part of the role play rules, but also that person you're speaking to could potentially be a recruit, and it's our job to kind of just treat everybody with respect, I feel like. So even anybody you walk up to, I feel like you should have your, role play introduction and ask them how you can help. I feel like I don't see a lot of people asking people how they can help. But that's the one thing I want to do is like help as many people, bro. I'm trying to go around help like all the newbies and stuff. Okay, so are you asking me regarding a PD rule or a role play rule? Oh, if you're not properly role playing with players, let me see. Oh, that's PD 16, I think. Yeah, you're not role playing. You're doing PD 16. Okay, so when conducting an arrest, you must provide or request, you said. Oh, I'm sorry, you must have a body cam. Anytime you're conducting anything, you must have a body cam. Okay, so you're saying why is it important to explain the rules to them, right? What they did wrong. It's well, for one, you're gonna explain to them what rules they broke. You could give them, let's say, okay, you're giving them the 1.9. You have to explain to them so they understand. And then once a supervisor comes, you know that okay, I already explained to you why you broke the rules. If you want to tell the supervisor why you broke the rules, be my guest. But I already explained to you what the rule was, what the law was, and if you decide to break it, that's on you. You know what I mean? At that point. So I think it's most important to just, sometimes they might not know it. A lot of people don't know. They never even look at these rules, especially if they're not an officer. So you might as well, it's important to just give it to everybody you see, let them know why they're getting arrested, or else they're going to just think, oh, you get me for no reason. Oh, I need a supervisor. So I feel like just to avoid the headache, but also on top of that, to do your actual role play correctly, you need to do that. Do that way. Do it in the right way. Okay, so main responsibility of a vested officer during the training, I would say there's okay. The first things was showing me where. Well, when I first got hired, for example, there was a vested officer that was my um, they call it MG, I guess. No, the MG. He was a supervisor, and he kind of just he broke down the rules. The main thing I think is to kind of just explain the rules and what to do, what not to do as a PD officer, but also as a role player, as a cop, and overall playing the game. Right. So unbashed, you really just, I mean, you can't really just leave. You can't really get out of a car if you get out of here either. But your main thing as a unbashed, I believe, is to pretty much help the cadets, help the trainees, and do all your tasks. You got to do your ride-alongs. You got to do all your trainings. But other than that, helping the people that are still coming to try to just get that vest. But from there, you get your badge, and now you're above the people that are vested. So you have another duty on top of everything that the guy that was just vested had. You have another duty of also now explaining everything all the macros, all the laws, all the rules, all the role play to somebody that's just vested and he's about to get his badge because he's gonna take a little test for the badge. So he's gonna go up there in the room, and you want to make sure. Okay, you get him ready, kind of all the officers, the new ones coming in, and then once you're vested, oh boy, that's when you're actually the biggest helper. You become like you could. Okay, so you could as a vested officer, there's so many roles that you could do that honestly that's why I want to join because you could you could be a security guard for an MG. You could be joining the green zone. Take care of stuff with, like, for example, you want to be HP green zone, join the HP, or you want to go to hands, or wherever you want to patrol at. For example, the SWAT, right? I really like the idea of the SWAT. They say is really hard to get into, but that's my main goal. Is like I really admire the SWAT, the way they move, the armored vehicle, the way they're like very responsive and role play every time they go out together. They're like role playing. Everyone is in the SWAT, and they're like serious guys, that actually role play. Um, but other than all of that, as a vested officer, all of those things that you could do as a vested officer, you add another responsibility of now you have to train the guys that are badged. For example, you want to take a badged guy on a ride along. Now you got to explain to him all the ways he has to make the arrest, record the arrest, show him the link where he has to post the arrest. You know what I mean? You got to give it to him everything. Like you want to make him like officially come up to almost where basically where you are. So you want to give him all the info where he could do all his correct tasks, his correct ways of arrests every five, every 2 days. You get at least that five arrests in. You explain to the badged officer what you know. That's pretty much other than what you could do as a badged officer. Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Matthew. It's been a pleasure, my man. Oh! Someone did it to me. It was either Jamie or Anna. Oh my god, they're hilarious. Yep.